Welcome to this video on Dynamics 365 Finance Supply Chain Management, and in this video I would like to show you how you can develop your own business events. Business events are part of Dynamics 365 and can be used to notify external system when a kind of event is happening inside Dynamics. Dynamics comes with a lot of existing business events, and you can find them by going to the modules. Under System Administration, there's something called the Business Event Catalog, and when you go here you will see that there are existing business events that trigger when something happens. So a lot of different workflow events, production, asset management, and so on. And what we're going to do is to develop our own business event that triggers when a new customer is created. What happens when a customer is created? You have to configure endpoints, different types of endpoints. And one of the easiest to use, in my opinion, is a blob storage. So when an event triggers, a JSON file is created and the JSON file is placed inside a blob storage, in a container inside a blob storage. There are other types of endpoints that can be used. You can use Azure Service Bus, Event Grid, HTTPS, and like I said, a blob storage, depending on your needs. And I will show you how this would look like. I have already configured this blob storage, so I have a storage in my Azure subscription, and in the storage browser there is a blob container, and the blob container is called events, and what will happen is that events are placed here inside this blob container. Like I said, I would like to create a business event that triggers when a new customer is created. And to do so, we need to implement our three classes. The first is the contract. The contract defines what information is provided for the external system. Like in this example here, this information is propagated to the external system. We will create a smaller version of this here. Then we need the business event itself, and we have to create a trigger that starts the business event if you want to. So let's get started by going to Visual Studio, and I'm creating a new project for finance and operations and call it business event demo, and this will create a new project. What we have to do in this case, we have to add some dependencies to our models. You see I have an existing model called ERP, and in my example, to use the customer created, there has to be a reference to the application foundation, application suite, directory, and contact person. Depending on your use case, you may need to add additional dependencies. So let's get started by creating a new contract, and the contract will only contain one property, and that is the name of the customer. In real life, of course, you would add additional fields, but to keep it simple, let's create a new class, and I will call this demo customer created contract. And because it's a data contract, we have to add data contract on the top. This is very similar to other data contract implementations in the systems, and I will make this a public class. Important to extend from the business event contract class. Events contract, and let's add a property. Like I said, this will be the name of the customer, and we will add a data member. It's a simple palm method, nothing special here. So name is underscore name and return name. And to make it a data member, we have to add data member, and it's called name because it's a name, and business events data member customer name, for example. And for convenience, I will also add a static factory method that is creating this object of type contract based on the cast table. So public static demo custom event contract, new from cast table. You should also be familiar with this pattern, so nothing special here as well. And we are going to set the name using the name method from the cast table and return the object. Voila. So the first class is implemented. This is our data contract for our business event. Next we have to implement the business event itself. So this is an additional class. And I will call this demo customer created. And this is a class. And it extends the business events base class, and I'm also going to make this a public class. It also needs some annotations, as you might have guessed, and we need to call it business events. It wants the class name, so I'm using this intrinsic function here, class string demo customer created for our contract. That's a class we have created, and some labels, customer created, customer created, and a type of module that is used to group it in the business event catalog. And let's see what we can use here. Customers. This will fit very nicely. The basis for this event is a cast table. So I'm declaring a variable here. And I'm also adding a palm method. X++ is not case sensitive, but this way it looks better. And what we have to do, we have to implement a method called build contract, that is creating the contract. And what it does, it creates a new object from type business event contract and returns it. And as you might have guessed, that is the reason why I have created this factory method in my contract. So we can say return demo customer created contract, new from cast table. And we're using the cast table here. And we have to add two annotations. Wrappable is false and replaceable false. And I'm going to add an additional factory method that is creating an instance of this business event. So again, public static demo customer created, new from cast table, and cast table record as parameter for the factory method. And demo customer created, not the event, the event, not the contract, event is new demo customer created. And I'm passing here the cast table. And return the event object. So far so good. Let's compile and see how many errors I have made. Looks good. And what we have to do is to make this business event usable, to implement a trigger. So when a custom is created, that means when a new record is inserted in the cast table, it should trigger our event. So let's create a new event handler. So this is our third class. And here I'm going to place a method that is triggering on the onInserted for the cast table. So public static void cast table onInserted. Make sure it is inserted and not inserting. This is a data event handler for the table cast table and for the data event type inserted. So after inserting, this method will trigger. Nothing special. You should be familiar with this pattern as well. So what we have to do is to create the cast table, so the record comes as parameter, and I'm only converting it here to cast table. And finally, we create the event and call the send method. So this should be enough to make this work. Let's make a build as well. Build complete, looks good. So for recap, what have we done? We have created a contract that has one property. We have created a business event that has some factory methods and implements the build contract from the base class. And we have implemented a trigger. So an event handler for the cast table class that is triggering after inserted, which is creating a new instance of our event and calls the send method. So this is enough, and we have made a build. Now when we go to Dynamics, we have to refresh the business event catalog. So let's head back and give it a try. Dynamics has fallen to sleep. Let's take a few seconds to wake it up. So let's say rebuild the business event catalog. This is necessary that we can see our business event that we have created and deployed to this application in the business event catalog. This may take a few seconds or minutes to rebuild the catalog. The business event catalog has been rebuilded, and now let's see if we can find our business event. Yeah, and here it is from accounts receivables, the demo customer created. So next we have to activate it. You can do this with this button here and say let's activate it. The legal entity, I'm here in a Contoso demo company and I want to use the blob endpoint. So click OK. Now this business event has been configured to be active, and when a new customer is created, the event will trigger and create a new JSON file in my storage account. Let's check out if this really works. So back to Dynamics, modules, receivable, let's create a new customer. And you see I'm here in this demo company that I have used to configure the business event. And let's create a new one. Test 1, 2, 3. Now the customer has been created, and on the inserted at the cast table, our event should not trigger. This may take a few seconds, but you can use business events to create data in, let's say, near time. So in a few seconds, minutes, we should see our data in the blob storage. Let's go to the blob storage. So I'm here in the Azure subscription in my storage browser. And here it is. This is from other implementation that is also triggering. So let's click this and download. And when we check the business event, you can see it is a JSON file. The event is a demo customer created. It comes from this company. We have control number, event ID, event date, and so on. Version, and this is our property, the test 123, and we have the business event successfully triggered and created this event JSON file in a blob storage. And from here you can go on and do whatever you need with this business event. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Thank you and have a good day.